Good day and welcome back to the Student StarCraft AI tournament. We have got for you a couple of games and we have got the OpenVW replay viewer. Just drop a replay in there and it will start recording or playing the game at once. So we've got a new Zer called Zer and we've got the old reliable Terran Merrick Kadek, and Merrick's still with us because he has been working very hard, but it's always 3 years ago since we last received an update from him. So don't expect too much fireworks, but as it has a decent build order and decent adaptability, it's still a good benchmark for a newer bot to assess the level of play. As you can see, this replay viewer has got, well, I've got the overlay on. Let me deactivate it just for 1 second. At the bottom left corner you've got volume control, you've got the pause button, slow down, speed up, and it can play at 1024 times the speed of a normal fastest game. So that's quite fast. If that's a question of why, if these AIs need to learn something, they usually need a couple of hundred games, and if you are really doing some fancy genetic stuff, it would be nice to have them play tens of thousands of games or more, and if you do that at a normal speed, it will take forever. So basically that's why we needed a little bit more space, and TSCMU and Im42 have been working on this project non-stop. TSCMU has been doing most of the coding work, and Im has been doing promotion, streamlining the project, and doing the web interface, I believe. We see now multiple unit selections is there. We see a couple of links heading for the Terran base. The Terran, of course, is prepared because we've got 5 Marines, and there is a... where is it? There is a... okay, that's the help thingy. Let me slow down. The links now head back. They see the oh, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you press 1, you see all the production which is happening at the moment. The links heading back. You can see the army. You can see the upgrades. No upgrades, of course, but the army is looking like this. And let me keep it there for a while so you can have an idea of what's going on. Of course, you can't move the mouse if you are doing that, so let me toggle it off again, and then the mouse and the keyboard controls come back. So Marek Kadek is going for an academy, it looks like, or that's an eBay. No, it's an academy. At the Zer, yeah, 3 times Zer. End of things, we've got minerals and gas being mined, couple of sunkens, and the game is going to pan out like this. So the academy nearly finishing up, quite a number of marines, and the first factory. So this is going to be some kind of a one-base hybrid build. At the Zerg end of things, you can see minerals being spent, and oh dear, let me not miss it, because we've got a handful of Zerglings moving over. The marines are all clustered here at the back, but now they come off to chase these lings away. The links, of course, all across the line are heading back, so I think at the moment that Mr. Zer has got 1 control group full of units just moving back and forth as required. We've got the lair coming up, perhaps some kind of a lurker thing, and if we've opened the upgrades, yeah, link speed, weapons, and hydra speed. So now we've got the first expansion being taken by Marek Kadek. Small force of Bayer with the Firebat and the Vulture moving out. I don't know why I'm clicking, because there is no, you can see there is no nothing to, oh dear, how do we get rid of that? Okay, like that. There's no kind of unit information per unit. Now Zer's got, what has it got? Is doing overlord speed, a lot of speed things, but no actual army, and this Terran army is arriving at the base, so that's going to be a bit of a problem, as this Terran army is quite strong and there is only a handful of okay, well, 1 dies. Oh, and the medics are in front, so that might be a little bit of a problem, because without the medics this bio ball is a lot... oh, I muted it. The bio ball is relatively weak, and Zerg holds a low drone count, only 3 here, and this saturation isn't really up to snuff either. What do we see? More Hydra upgrades and speed still being researched. Merrick now heading back. As you can see, both of these bots are quite adaptive. If it doesn't work, they will head back to base, regroup, and try something again in the near future. Now Zer moving out again, going for another hatchery, and are we going to see the lurker upgrade? I don't know. Oh, these are the upgrades which are done, and these are the upgrades which are being researched at this moment. Oh, upgrades and research. So stim, spider mines. These are the upgrades being done, and can I see what's being produced? Only buildings and units, so no, that's, I would like to see if, for instance, Lurker Aspect is researching at this moment, but I can't. OpenBW is still a boon to StarCraft Brood War players or replay watchers, because you can also use it in on Linux and on a Mac as well, so that's something. Of course, you need all the original Brood War files, so you need the CDs and you need to have the game installed, but you can run it on Linux, which is very good if you are working on your bot in such an environment. Now, Zer going for more units, and if you look at the supplies, Merrick is just way ahead, and if this time it doesn't waste its medics to do all of the heavy fighting in the front, only 2 bases of Zer, that's not good. Going for some very heavy tech. And let me see, the armies look like that. Upgrades like this and research. Oh, Lurker Aspect is done. And we've got some Lurkers, but they are not helping with the fight, only now coming to the front. And Zerg is holding his own because Terran has just got a very awful engagement off the ground. Now with the Overlord speed, there is the push coming, and that is going to be nasty, because of course there are spider mines, but with all the Hydras in front, with the Overlords, which also have speed, I think that this trail of mines will not be long for this world. The third base being taken by Zer, and I think if you take into consideration that it took an awful long time, well, that's an interesting place to build a science facility, I say. If you take into consideration the long time it took to build something, and again the medic in front, but the medic being targeted first, so if you look at the army approaching, and the lurker should be burrowed at this time, but aren't. Now Merrick is advancing. Nice bit of scans going down. Although the decision making is quite good, the build order is, well, suboptimal at this point, because it's just expanding very, very slowly. And there went the first muter, taking forever, and such a low army count. Another hatchery being added. Of course, you've got a couple of lurkers, but this Terran industry will be so out of control once it gets its third base up. 3 versus 3 bases. You need a hell of a good fight if you want to get something done. And I think this Hydra is going down. All the lurkers are in the rear for some reason, but now entering the mineral line, which is, as a Terran, is not a good place to have. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That turret doing so much damage now with the science vessel, but I think that this turret may be killed soon-ish if these lurkers go down on the turrets. Now with the tank, but are there scans? Well, there are scans, so I take it that this tank is going to do a lot of damage. A third base now up for Zerg, but for Terran as well. No, the SCVs didn't quite make it out. So Zer with a very slow build, but very methodical. I really can't. I'd like to see how many kills this tank has. As you can see, we've got half a supply for Zerg. That's well, it's cute, but doesn't really mean anything. There goes the comsat, and now it's just one base with another one. What have you got here? 2 turrets. Why would you build turrets there? And that's all very cute. But in the end, oh, we've got Hive Tech coming up and all. These couple of lurkers are doing their utmost versus this this natural. The tank is doing a lot of damage, but in the end, the Lings arrive at it, going to town on it. So that's that. Lurkers at the ramp, and if your ramp looks like this, even if the lurkers are kind of stupid, I think that it would be very hard to hold. Last tank going down, and the main looking like this. Third has got some SCVs, of course, but in the long run it's not going to help you because your main base is gutted. So that's that. New Zerg called Zer, taking a game of Marikatic. Very well done. Needs a little bit of work, but hey, if it's a new bot, it's pretty decent, I'd say. Now, third base being mobbed up, and what kind of tech will we get? We've got some queens, and no defilers or anything, but oh, ultras as well. Ultras, that's good. So for now, going to call the GG because GG, we've got a lot of games to cast. This is just the open replay, open BW replay viewer. You just drag a replay into it, and it will start playing. You have to set the volume controls again, but here we go. We've got as the Zerg, a Zerg from Korea called Giabot, and a Protoss called B-Reaver. Now B-Reaver is a new player, played in the 2016 finals. Did quite well there, and Giabot of course did quite well as well, but B-Reaver was, well, not really a Royal Roader, but it was playing decent enough to even be considered to perhaps become one, but let's not talk about that. Again, we've got a Zergling opening, we've got a cancelled building or a destroyed building, that's not good. Now the Lings are all over it, but we've got a couple of cannons, and if the cannons are done in time, I think that is a decent solution. Now the Lings can be held, and well, more Lings are coming, but they are all heading back. So now we see lots of... what is this? That's another cannon, and perhaps another cannon. So B-Reaver doing a lot of cannons for some reason. Giabot going for a lot of drones in the meanwhile, so yeah, that's pretty good. And that must be another gateway. So going to speed up the game just a little bit, and as you can see, 1024 times the speed. Oh god, I need to slow it down because I just saw a Corsair. So that's how fast it can go. Oh, we've got a Reaver in the shuttle, and look at the damage it's doing. So now we've got a Corsair doing the overlords, and the shuttle with Reaver, or I think there is a Reaver in there, doing the damage to all the folks on the ground. So Giabot under a lot of pressure, got the Hydra Den, but I think it's being harassed silly by this Corsair, and I can't see the kill count, but well, that was a brief introduction to 1000 times the speed. I sort of wasted the early game, but I think we caught most of it. Now Giabot has got no gas to speak of, it's going for Lair, not really producing any units, got a lot of Zerglings. We've got one Sair out there, and a shuttle somewhere as well. I think, is this it? Yep, this is it. And it's going to do masses of damage, but now with a couple of Hydras I think it can't do too much, especially as there is good overlord scouting. So shuttle now trying to find a way in to harass the natural, not really working at this point. Ling scouting, Protoss taking a third base. So if you've got 3 Protoss bases, oh look at that. That's bloody brilliant. And let me check if we've got Storm, we've got Lurker Aspect, and we've got Broodling. So Broodling is done. Unfortunately we haven't got any Queens, and the Queen's Nest is a bit far out front. Got a couple of Templars, and by the looks of it I can't really see how much energy they've got exactly, but it's quite a bit, so there should be some storms relatively soon. Now we've got the Queens and we've got the Hive, but as far as build orders goes, this is really... oh, and that... oh god, that is gruesome. All the Lings are dying. That is brilliantly played by B-Reaver, but now running out of storms, and we've still... oh no, that's one brilliant storm again. But there are still 4 Sunkens, and the Queens are now gathering energy. Of course, in the long run, I don't think it's going to matter much, because we've got a lot of Templars out there, and the Reaver is coming as well. Now the Zealots are coming to grips with the... oh, that's nice, quick burrowing a unit. Can't see what it is. And now we've got the Queen mulling about. Oh, and again a storm, but it misses, so that's a pity. That's a lot of Queens. How many Queens have we got? Can we see? We've got 7 Queens and 1 Hydra, and that's 9 Queens and 3 Hydras, and that's the Zerg army at this point. So that's an interesting state of affairs. Unfortunately for the Queens, there are 3 Corsairs out already. Now got a shuttle with Reaver again. one shuttle back at home, and more coming up. So that's that. Speeding it up just a little notch, a little tad, so it will play out faster. And if you look at that, that's something interesting. We've got 12 queens, 6 hydras, and Protoss pulling all the stops on the upgrades, why not? But that's some really messed up units composition with a lot of queens and only one hydra, or a handful of hydras. Queens now should be in a position to cast Broodling, and the Protoss army is heading back to base for some reason. If we look at the supplies, which you can see down here, we see that the Reaver's got a lot of minerals stacked, hasn't really got the gas to spend it. It's building such expensive units like Templars and Reavers out of 2 Robo Bays, building the upgrades, and Zerg now trying to take a third, and if it will get the third up, it will be in a great position, because Protoss at this point appears not to be very decisive and taking a lot of time to get things done. Then again, the Zerg army really isn't. A couple of Sers chasing off, being chased by hydras, harassing a little bit. Now the third being broken down by these gateway units and a Reaver, which isn't really doing anything at this point. I don't know why it's not firing. I think they will only do units, so that's that. Reaver going for another base perhaps, third base being fortified, defending something. Looks like that was a Broodling Goon. Oh, that was not a Broodling, very well done, but I think you can't really expect to be the Protoss of the the strength. Oh, that's a nice catching a Reaver with the shuttle. You can't really expect to be the Protoss like the Reaver with just Queens and Hydras, can you? No, that's the third. Main is mining out. Protoss has just taken a fourth. Looks prepared to build some cannons at the ramp. And a lot of probes hovering all over the place. That's nice to see. Have we any more tech? I think these are just gateways and more gateways and a pylon. So nothing doing really. Going to speed it up just a notch because it's boring as hell. Oh, the Reaver doing some great damage, and here it goes again. Going after the probes, and will it get off a shot on the Zerglings? Oh, look at all these Zerglings which are dying. That's gruesome. The shuttle is nearly dead. It should, and it dies, but not before dealing a lot of damage. And the Hydras are fighting a good fight in the middle of the map, but there is just too much Protoss stuff out there. Protoss nearly maxed, and the Queens don't have the energy to cast Brooklings continuously, so that's not going to work, is it? This Queen's looking for a prey. I don't know where it's going. Let's keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, under attack. Nothing here. It catches a Photon Ball by the cannon. But the natural has been broken, the Corsairs are all over it, and although Geobot is fighting a good fight, the build order with 2 bases, Hive and then the Queen and Hydra is just not working, and these Zealots are cutting down the Zerglings mercilessly. So that's that. Reaver very strong, been updated again and again, so it's just a pleasure to see. So many units, so good in the macro department, so that's just very pretty. I'm going to call the GG, and I'm doing that by reloading the Open Replay Viewer. Going to call in a new game, and the new game will be between, oh dear, that's hard to read, Magrave, a new Protoss, and a Alien. We'll just call it Alien for some reason. But let's just call it Alien and Magrave. So this is Alien New Zerg, based on University of Alberta bot, and that's something that should be mentioned as well, because University of Alberta bot by Dave Churchill is gaining a lot of supporters, a lot of new bots basing their creation upon that University of Alberta piece of code, and that's just so very beautiful, because that means that people are going to work on the framework of University of Alberta bot as well, and that's just brilliant, because that is really the way that things are go forward. If you design a new bot from the ground up, every time someone new comes to the scene, you have got a lot of bots doing 4 pools and 1 base Terrans and all kinds of crazy primitive stuff. We've got the Zealot harassing an egg for some reason, and now going after the probe. But I think that these Zerglings with the Sunken can do a pretty job of holding that off. Now, meanwhile, third has been taken for Zerg as well, so that's pretty good. pretty greedy opening, but that's a lot of Zerglings, and as you can see we've got 1 Protoss base versus 3 Zerg bases, and I think that's going to be a drone. So the production capacity of Zerg is going to be well, very much bigger than that of Protoss, but the Protoss now going in for the kill. The Lings with the Sunken just barely hold. The saturation of drones is very, very, very low. And I think that Protoss may have a timing to do something here, but I don't really know if it's going to be enough. But yeah, as you can see, a couple of Lings being built, but also Zerglings. So the Zergling count is increasing, and that is going to be a huge problem for Protoss, because Protoss can only produce 1 base. So every Ling it catches, well, it's a welcome addition to the balance, but in the end, I think with all the drones now being built and these attacks being held at the natural, I think Protoss is in for a very, very hard fight. And no, look at that, all the Lings in the world, so that's pretty good. And now with 1 click I can select all enemy and friendly units from either perspective. Well, that Sunken has been doing some work, that's brilliant to see. We've now got a Reaver, perhaps that will change things up a bit, but the drone saturation is improving. That is going to be, I think, a Spire, and as soon as Mutas hit with all these Lings, and the Lings now taking the fight to the Protoss. Protoss units really messing up, and that Reaver should be picked up stat, and it is not, so that's a bit of a blow to Protoss. The shuttle already stalling because it lost its little friend. Now the Protoss army countering in force. Nice conclave by these Zerglings, but as you can see, oh, that's not a drone. As you can see, Zerg's got things well under control with drone saturation, which is better and better. And the first Muta is now out. So as soon as this Muta is out, the Lings will take care of the drones, and the Muta should not die. We've got now 2 Mutas and a lot of Lings. The Muta shouldn't be out in front, really. I think that's a little bit wasteful. 2 Mutas here as well, 3 Mutas. So at this point we've got a lot of Mutas, and Protoss only now taking the 2nd base. Oh, but here is a shuttle with Reaver, and the Lings are drying up, so Magrave fighting a good fight. Alien is struggling. Although there are a lot of Mutas out, we've got 4, and we've got nothing here. We've got 5 Mutas, 1 badly damaged. The Mutas aren't fighting, and they shouldn't be fighting. They should be hovering over here to kill some probes. And the Protoss has forced its way into the enemy base. So, yeah, that's pretty well done, considering the... well, there was really a big indecisive period of aliens to not really do anything. And now Protoss is having its way with Zerg. Those Reavers are really doing a number on these Zerglings, and the Goons, of course. Oh, here is the harass I was talking about. But again, we've got a Goon, and the main base of Zerg is looking like this. The 3rd, I don't think, is going to be a safe place very long. And yep, there we go. So the Goons are chasing back these Mutas, which are very low on health. Main base finally stamped into the ground, and the 3rd base being engaged as well. Yeah, you can build there, but that's not going to work. So Alien, very good early game play, bit of indecisiveness in the mid game, and that's the GG. The game just freezes. Let me reload another game, and the other game is, as luck will have it, again Alien. And Alien in this matchup will play another Protoss called Purple Wave. So Purple Wave, Magrave, it's a lot of Aves in the air, but Alien going to have another try at this. Let's see if the build order will be the same and what Purple Wave will do. Purple Wave is another new Protoss, also based in the University of Alberta bot, like Zerzer, like Alien, like V-Reaver, and I really like all these players basing their bots on University of Alberta bot, because then if you improve something you can exchange that. Oh, I just missed that. I did just miss that. We've got 2 gates in the middle of the map, nothing at home, and Alien is going for a rather slow pull because it wants to get out a natural first. So that Zealot will have some time to do things. And of course at this point there aren't any Zerglings or larvae available. 2 Zealots now in the Zerg mineral line 2 Zerglings, but that's not good, and more Zealots coming up all the time. So that's quick and bloody. If the early game of Alien last game was pretty good, this time I think that Purple Wave's got it, and that's going to be the game if it doesn't crash or do something stupid. Behind that, that was the game, and the timer is up, so going to call the GG for Purple Wave. Got to reload the replay viewer again. I would really like to load a queue of replays in there, but of course you can only have what you were offered if things are being done like this. I don't think it's being done. Let me say that TSMU and IMP are doing a very great job at this OpenBW project. It's almost equaling Shield Battery in complexity, only the focus of this project is more on AI than it is on human play. There is no, oh god, what is going on? We've got a couple of, oh, it's Stone versus TSMU. So Stone going again for the worker rush, 3 SCVs at home, all the other SCVs are out and about here trying to do damage, and I can only hope that this spawning pool is going to go up pretty soon, otherwise the SCVs will kill off all the drones and things will be over relatively quick. But the drones have got pretty good micro, as you can see. They kill one of the SCVs and the drone numbers are continuing to go up. Will these be Zerglings? These will be Zerglings. So I think at this moment that the SCVs have got a little bit of a problem, and Zerg can start banking money to build another hatchery. Or, oh look at that, the Ling got killed, 1 Ling got killed, 2 more Lings are arriving. This drone appears to be, oh, and the SCV is on very low health, but it's running away. But now there is a second hatch being built, so that's good for TSMU Zerg. TSMU Zerg changed the description of its bot to just Hydras and Lings, and I asked him, well, why do you do that? He said, well, Hydras and Lings are pretty good. So one should never doubt the word of the master. And another hatchery coming up, and TSMU should be that at the moment, because he's got 3 bots of all 3 races. They are doing incredibly well. He hasn't really been working on them. He has been working on this project. He has been working on Battle Code, which is another strategy game of the MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So he's been knee-deep in this RTS AI stuff, and if you look at it, all the Lings are being pretty good, holding off the SCVs, and of course now there are more SCVs at this base. More are being sent over, but they are not really doing anything at this moment anymore. 3 hatcheries and a sunken, so good luck, have fun entering that as an SCV. It's just not going to happen. Behind that, TSMU is mining, not really mining gas at this moment. I wonder why not. But just going for huge numbers of Zerglings, and if you look at the minimap, they are chasing the SCVs all around the map. That's pretty good. Now going for the Hydra Den, and this Overlord has been keeping a good eye on things. The SCVs are doing pretty well, but the Ling numbers just getting way out of control. And as soon as the Hydras will be out, all the neuters, I don't think this is going to be good for Terran anymore. As you can see, with the repair and the micro of the SCVs, the Lings still have a hard time to get something done, to at least bring the fight to the Terran base. But in the long run, I don't think this handful of SCVs can hold on against the Zerg, especially not with Hydras coming up, because a couple of Hydras are just going to make short work of these SCVs. They won't be able to repair anymore and will probably just die. But you never know, so let this game play out a little bit longer. But it's very hard with all these SCVs running about to actually find what's going on. They are even taking on Hydras. They caught one here. Let me select it because its HP is getting very, very low, but there are more Hydras coming up. This Hydra will regenerate. 3rd and 4th base being taken by TSMU. TSMU doing so well. Another base that's just very greedy. As you can see, it's not really focusing on the Terran base at this point, just making Hydras and Zerglings, and a lot of them. So, yeah, that's it. Going to speed it up just a notch, because in the end I think I'll just watch at the minimap to see all these units chasing each other, and now we've got a first Zergling entering the realm of Terran, and a lot of Hydra Ling arriving here, more units being made, couple of drones here and there. Hydras and Lings, just Hydras and Lings. And why? Because they are pretty good. I think that is the GG, and we'll have to load in the other game, which is the last one we've got. And that is a game between Killerbot, also known under the name of its author, Marion Deveka, the Zerg which won last year's Student StarCraft AI tournament. And at the other end we've got Literbot CIG 2016, which has been doing very well on the server, which makes me suspect that it's got some kind of learning mechanic that we don't know about. But as the last game for tonight, or if you or when you are watching this on YouTube, it is a pretty good game, I would say, because Killerbot is a brutal piece of coding and it is very, very robust and reliable. Now Literbot going for a little bit of Marines, another command center behind that, gas being mined, the build order is pretty good. You could say that Killerbot could take another base behind that. It's not doing so for some reason, just going for its build order, and I think it's going to be, and I can't say it's going to be because I've got these tabs with research, Lurker S-Pack being researched, army-wise we've got 70 Marines versus 2 Lings, Killerbot just going full on the drones, and I can't see the workers. Where are the workers? I don't know where the workers are. So about the same time Stim will be done, Lurker S-Pack will be done as well. Of course, Literbot will by then have, I think, another comsat. This one's done already, and this command center can build another comsat as well. Literbot with quite a number of units, and they are mulling all over the place to fend off any muters. Here comes Killerbot, and Killerbot has got a handful of Zerglings, a couple of Lurkers, and that's going to be a push. And behind that, going for a third base. So pretty good build order. Literbot has got the bunkers, has got the scans, and has now got a vulture. And will we have... no, we will not have... Oh, that's not... how do you say that's not good? Could do with a little bit of scan here, because these Lurkers, although I can't see their kill stats, are doing pretty well against these Marines, because Literbot for some reason is not scanning at all. And more Lurkers are coming, so that's not good. Behind that, a third base is being built. If you look at the supplies, Literbot's still ahead, but that's a lot of SCVs. And now 4 Lurkers and the medics are all going down. It's well, there's a turret here, so if these bunkers are full, it's not going to be too much of a problem for Literbot at this moment. But if you run into Lurkers like that without scanning, you're really asking for trouble, aren't you? Now behind this, Killerbot just building units and going for another push. So let me speed it up just a notch. Literbot behind, trying to defend here. Now with the scan, finally, the tank rolling out in front, and that might have been a good tactic because these Lurkers haven't been firing as much. This Lurker catching a lot of fire from these bunkers with the armor, of course, taking a long time to kill it. Killerbot in a bit of a problem because it just wasted all of its army, and Literbot has got a science facility, going to have science vessels soon, and perhaps switching to mech, and that's a stupid place to morph a Lurker. So going to speed it up just a notch. Now moving out, now scanning while the tanks are there, and of course there are a couple of Sunkens, but I think it's going to have to fight pretty hard to hold this. Of course there is the third base, and the third base you can smuggle a couple of units around the back. Now these Sunkens are doing pretty well, but as soon as this this science vessel with the siege tanks arrive, oh, that was a pity because all these medics got splashed by their own tanks. That's a bit of a shame. Now Literbot on the advance, and with the infantry and the tanks, going to have a little bit of fun with these Lurkers and the Sunkens. I think it's going to be a hard fight for Killerbot still to break out of this, but it's got the Sunkens, and now the tanks are dying. Literbot going for a third, fourth being taken by Killer, and have we got any tech behind this? No, it's just going to be Lurker Ling. On the Terran end of affairs, we've just got more science vessels, more tanks, more production. With the third base, the Terran will be able to sustain that, and that's a fourth base, so it will be 4 versus 4 bases. And of course, the tanks with the science vessels will have these Lurkers for breakfast, and although it's a bit of a tug of war, I think in the end, with the bio, with the M&M, these Lurkers will have a very hard hard fight because it's a nice leapfrog, but every once in a while there is a tank just blasting away, and every time you've got to run in, these Marines get the chance to fire. That's a lot of lurkers though. That's a lot of lurkers. Will there be our radiate? Our radiate should be done momentarily, or yeah, there we go, and that's the first our radiate. As you can see, all the high HP lurkers are being targeted, but the Terran is being pushed back to the natural. Of course, there is a tank there and 2 bunkers, so it will be safe. Now Killerbot, with the 4 bases up, 5th base being taken. Oh, and it raised Terran's 4th base. Literbot now in a bit of a spot, but with the M&M, with the Stim and the Science Vessel, it's very hard to fight that with just plain lurkers without Swarm or Ultras or Link support. It's going to be a hard fight, and now Terran again is back on the move with the Science Vessels are radiating everything they see. That looks like a lurker. This one hasn't been targeted yet, but with all the Marines in bio, with the tanks in the rear, I think this time the natural will be broken. And this is a hive. This is a hive. It's a hatch. It was a lair, but it's a hive. But it's too slow, and I don't think there can be any defilers. Oh, and there is a battle cruiser as well, so it's pretty good. Small flank coming in from the colonies of Zerg and taking down these tanks, but the main army is in the natural already, and that's a major problem because it's not going to live anymore. There is no mining going on. In the main, no mining either. This base got taken down by a couple of lurkers, and that's pretty good because Zerg is all over this. And the colonies are doing pretty well with good drone saturation, but no tech. So it should rebuild the tech. At this point, the Hydra Den still standing. Now it goes down. The lurkers in the rear taking down the tanks, and we've got two lurkers holding off the bio. But I think it's going to be a very, very close fight. 2 Marines still here. We've got this battle cruiser here taking down the main. No Hydras at all. And this Sunken, I think, should have some support. The vessel cloud is increasing and more Marines are coming at this point. The main is mined out for Terran though, the natural's getting very low. The question is, who will crumble first? Because these colonies now have a Hydra Den as well. Zerg could take another base. The main is going down though, and Zerg is bleeding money because it's trying to rebuild stuff here, and this battle cruiser is just doing too much damage. The medic's finally going down, but this battle cruiser has been doing so much, and these science vessels have been doing so much damage. Now more bio filtering in, and although, oh, that's the game. I think, oh no, we go again. It's not finished yet. That was, I feared that the game was hanging for a little bit, but it's still going well. And there we go. So the bio doing massive damage in the natural. Zerg not taking any more bases, not tacking up, and I do really think that Killerbot could do with an upgrade to keep its units in tighter formation. Oh, but all the bio is now running into these new lurkers, and that's going to be a major problem because we've still got this this battle cruiser here. The natural is dead, but the Terran army is dead as well, and it's mined out, so that's a huge problem, especially now these lurkers are advancing onto the natural of Terran. And this battle cruiser is doing masses of damage, but it's not going to work because the lurkers are all over it, and you can irradiate them like mad. But there are just more and more are coming, and look at this train of drones. That is, you've got some very good saturation if you can. I'd like to have these counter bits. That's a long drone train just instantly resaturating the natural, and now it's 4 bases against 0. The lurkers are all over there. Literbot played brilliantly, but didn't secure the 3rd or the 4th, and that's going to make it pay this time because Killerbot is just winning this. If you are interested in OpenBW, you can just go to openbw.com. It's got the engine, it's got the replay viewer, it's got an HD module, and TSMU and IM are still working on an IDE, which is a development environment. If you like what you see, come visit our website. You can learn to play against these bots, you can watch more games, and this game just finished. Look at all the bases being taken again. Killerbot, such a monster. Could do a little update, but still a force to be reckoned with. And of course the battle cruiser did well, but in the end was not enough to keep the Terran Empire from falling. If you like what you see, come visit our website, play against these bots, watch more games, and also learn to code these monsters yourself. We have seen a couple of new bots with the University of Alberta engine, so it's certainly not as hard as it used to be. It's getting easier and easier every time. You still need a little bit of brains to do it, but I'd say come and have a look, be welcome and enjoy. For now, this was the broadcast, so I'd say goodbye and see you next time.